Alright guys, I'm back with another weekly manga review video for Naruto, Bleach, and One Piece. And even though the chapters didn't really have a lot of action this week, at least in Bleach and One Piece, I still enjoyed this week's chapters. I understand that after the whole Soul Society attack, they have to kind of have a chapter of just downtime with them helping the injured and stuff, and I enjoyed reading it. It's just progression of the story. So I did enjoy this week's chapters, but starting with Naruto, Chapter 608, Kakashi's Decision. We see Obito attacking Kakashi, throwing these giant blades at him, and Kakashi puts up a dog wall, which Obito just passes right through, and he stabs him in the leg and then sends him to that other dimension place, which Kakashi actually uses his eye to come right back. But Obito's just really kicking the crap out of Kakashi in this chapter. Kakashi still doesn't explain what really happened with Ren. He just agrees with Obito that he's trash and he should have done more to save her, but I think eventually we will find out, possibly next week, that the whole thing with Ren is not the way Obito sees it. Kakashi really didn't just kill Ren for the hell of it. We see Naruto fighting the dragon, Madara trying to kill B, and Obito goes to kill Kakashi. He's got these two blades, he's going to just finish him off, and Naruto makes a clone and stops them both. Madara's using the Susanoo, and Guy actually uses that tiger attack to block the Susanoo attack from Madara. And I thought that was pretty cool. And of course Naruto jumps over to try and save Kakashi, and Kakashi uses the Rakiri to stop Obito's attack. And that was it. That was the end of this week's chapter. So we did get a lot of action in Naruto. I enjoyed the fight scenes. My only concern right now is I think this fight is one of the biggest fights in the series. It's very important, and I just feel like it's being a little rushed, and hopefully I'm wrong and it goes on for a few more chapters, but I really think this needs to be a long fight. It should not be wrapped up so soon. And that's why I was glad that when Kakashi did the Rakiri, it just passed through Obito. It didn't actually hurt him. And of course Madara wasn't hurt by the tiger attack, it just kind of blocked him for a little bit. So I'm glad that Kishimoto is still trying to keep these guys looking strong, and they're not really being hurt by Naruto or anything. In fact, they were actually beating Naruto with the dragon creature sucking out his chakra. So good chapter this week, and next week we'll probably find out, I think, what really happened with Ren. But yeah, it should continue the fight, so good chapter from Naruto this week. And Bleach, chapter 515, Relics. This chapter is pretty simple. Really, it just shows the 4th Division trying to save everyone, rescue the injured, and we see that Rukia and Renji are being tended to and they're in stable conditions. Ichigo gets a message that the others in Huakumondo are okay. And we also find out that Byakuya and Zaraki are in surgery. It's critical. They may never wake up. They will wake up. So even those two guys are fine. Zaraki I'm not surprised about, but Byakuya, Kubo kept going on for like 4 chapters of this guy dying, and he's still not dead. He's not going to die. So really the only casualty here is Captain Commander Yamamoto. So, and even that, they said his body, they couldn't find his body because it was completely annihilated. I wouldn't be surprised if he's still alive. So, I mean, this huge attack on Soul Society, and really none of the main characters are dead. Which I guess I'm okay with, but if he didn't build it up like they were dead, I would have no problem. But he really tried to put over Byakuya being killed off, and it just didn't happen. So I was a little disappointed with that. And the funny thing about this week's chapter is I actually looked up spoilers for this week's chapter. I normally don't do that, but I did look up Bleach's spoiler, and it said it was confirmed on the website. And the spoiler is not what we got, but the spoiler sounded awesome. So I actually regretted looking it up. But what the spoiler said is Ichigo watches Juha Bach leave. We see Division 0 getting prepared to arrive at Soul Society in another dimension. And we also see Aizen is the one who killed Opie in Huakumondo. And he tells Urahara, "Didn't you expect it was me?" And I was like, damn, that would be a crazy chapter. And then we got this. And this isn't bad, I mean. But yeah, it was just weird that that spoiler was confirmed and it was obviously a fake. But that would have been a really exciting chapter. But anyways, I did enjoy this week's chapter for Bleach, even without all the crazy stuff from the spoiler, just because, like I said earlier, it's just the natural progression of the story. After a huge attack on Soul Society, you kind of have to have that downtime. And what I think is going to happen next week is we're probably going to get some more information about Ichigo's past. Maybe see Juha arrive in Soul Society, or not Soul Society, but wherever the Vandenreich is, and maybe have some stuff there that reveals more about Ichigo. And then at the end of the chapter, we may find out that Aizen is nowhere to be found. He's escaped during the chaos. Something like that is what I think is going to happen. But on to One Piece, chapter 688, Mocha. Carbo is caught in a storm and stuck on a lifeboat, is the cover story. Chopper, Nami, and Robin can't hold back the kids any longer. The kids actually surround Mocha, and she has to eat all the candy herself, which of course is going to kill her. So Chopper's freaking out. We get a flashback of all the kids wanting to meet again when they're adults, not knowing that they're being poisoned and they will probably be dead in a couple years. And Mocha collapses. She's coughing up blood. Sanji and the G5 arrive to help sedate the kids, and Chopper goes to try and save Mocha. And the last thing we see is Luffy shows up with Momonosuke wrapped around him and heads towards Caesar. And we find out that One Piece is on break next week, which really sucks because it's really starting to get good here. I really want to see more of what's going on with Virgo versus Smoker right now. That's what I want to see. But Luffy heading towards Caesar, and he is super pissed off. So that's going to be awesome. Can't wait for One Piece to return. What I think is going to happen in this is once it returns, I think we will get a fight with Luffy versus Caesar. And I think that the Straw Hats are going to start to win this fight with Smoker taking out Virgo, along with Law helping him take out Virgo. And then, I can't remember the names, I think it's Baby 5 and Buffalo. Don Quixote's team is going to show up, and they're going to be really strong, just like Big Mom's group. The guy with the teacup on his hat and the lion. Those two characters seemed, what was his name, Pecoms? But those two characters seemed really powerful, and I think Don Quixote's team is going to be just as strong as those two, and they're going to show up, and it's going to turn the tide in favor of Caesar's team. However, Don Quixote already said that Caesar is ready to be killed off. He doesn't need Caesar anymore. So, I don't think that's going to be a factor. I think they're going to easily take out Caesar, but once these other two show up, then it's on, and the Straw Hats are not going to be able to take these two down easily. So yeah, this is going to be a really intense arc, I think. It's going to really show that the Straw Hats, even though they are really powerful, we've established that. After the 2-year break, we saw that the Straw Hats have gotten so strong just with the Fishman Island arc. I mean, that showed how powerful they are, plus this has shown how strong they are. So really they need villains now. They need competition. And that's what I think Oda's going to bring us when One Piece returns. So anyway, that's my review of this week's chapters. Hope you guys liked this video. Leave your thoughts on this week's chapters in the comments below, and thanks for watching.